Hello everybody, I am Michael Magus. I will be the voice of the Stewarding's office for this video. I am joined by Jack, who is the actual steward heading out all the goody penalties and so on. And we are joined, to our chagrin, by a racing teammate, endurance teammate of mine, Cody, who's learning how to be a steward and has chosen Jack as a role model. And Cody, could you please put on push to talk? Because your chair is noisy. Anyways, we are done lap one of race one, the automatic review, and there was a pile up on that part. There is a general warning we do want to issue here because the pile up was created by basically just the occurrences of concertina effect on lap one. Stuff happens, if you know what I mean. And as a result, we have no penalty to hang out on that matter. Basically, Wilfredo Sevilla was following a car close. He was a little bit offline. He had to tap the brakes. James Butler had to tap the brakes. Josiah Jerome rear-ended James Butler. And basically, it was all, unexpected braking on lap one. Not brake checks, not intentional carnage, not anything beyond the rules. Just stuff happening further ahead that required adjustments of speed, and somebody didn't react quick enough, and therefore we had an accident. But we do want to issue a quick warning here because there were a couple of cars that just didn't slow down at all for the yellow flag part, and it made the contact worse. We're not going to hand out any individual penalties because we think that probably the damage they took to their own cars, to the front ends, and the time they lost is sufficient for now. But obviously that is something we would like to avoid in the future. It's not good. Anyways, so that was that. But we do have a reported incident here from lap 15 between Timo Konietzki and Yuri Kotachvil. Kotachvil is the reporting driver. He is the blue and orange car on the outside. Timo Konietzki is the gold car on the inside. We have determined this to be a racing incident that we're about to hold up, and we'll play the video and also explain the whys here in just a moment here. My computer is really not liking swapping between the game and other things, so forgiveness on that matter if there are some delays. So here we go into turn one. So far, so good. Things are clean. We're in turn two. And there's the contact. Yuri ends up off. It's very, very unfortunate, but if you look at this whole scenario here, it's created by both cars choosing the lines. It's created by the fact that neither is, and neither is supposed to, concede the position. So if we look at it here. So right here, there's enough room for both of them to make it through. This is let me see if I get a slightly better camera. Not really. I guess that's probably the best I can do. So you can see that we're good there, we're good there, we're good there. Now, Yuri is tightening his line up here, which is going to create this intersection up here between the two. And there's nowhere for Timo to go. He's already got one wheel on the grass here, one wheel on the curb. He cannot go further inside. So that's not really going to work out. Ooh, this is a great view. Gets a bit of the curb. And there's just contact. And there's not any attempt by Timo to push him wide. There's not any attempt to do anything. It's just you guys are going through a section of track, the Suzuka S's, that are very, very hard to go too wide through. Like very, very wide. There's a certain level of contact that's going to happen. And there's room. There's room on the outside here for Yuri to be safer. And I'm not faulting Yuri. I think his line is fine. He's trying to defend. He's trying to squeeze. But this contact is not the production of any malintent by any driver or even really a mistake either way. It's just going through a corner, one car getting squeezed to the grass and to the curb. And there is going to inevitably be a reaction to the car that is going to take it a little bit wide and as a result create contact. So no further action from the stewards on this one. Timo was entitled to make the move. There's nothing super aggressive about it. And Yuri is entitled to try to defend. It did not work out for him in this case. And that is kind of that. So, no action. And we'll move on to race number 2 because the 2 reports we have otherwise are in race 2. So, we'll be back for those, if not for lap 1 review. Okay, this one is bizarre, and honestly, I'd love to hear from Martin Edmonds as to what the cause of this incident is. As far as stewarding action, we are reprimanding Edmonds for driving standards and taking no further action against Oriol Balmana. I think I'm getting that name right. Who is reported in this one as well, but we do not have any action for him. Gender assuming. And here we go. Game loading up again. Come on. Switch over. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, basically this whole thing is caused by Edmonds, who is the green, orange, blue, pink car. He's just going very, 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 very slowly. And then you can see this is Komorowski here in the pink. And if we get a better angle, that might be perfect. So Komorowski takes this outside line here, thinking I'm going to overtake this really, really slow car, and Edmonds comes across and kind of regains. He's allowed to do so because he's battling for position and all. But when combined with the fact that he's just going very, very slowly, I don't know if it's a slowdown penalty or whatever. It's causing a traffic could be pedal failure. I've been there. I've done that. But if you're out of the flow, you've got to be doing something better. Now there's no contact. Komorowski largely is okay. Loses a spot here to this car, and then Balmana is this car back here, who has also been reported as part of this. We need to change on to him. There we are. And there's going to be contact with Komorowski right there. And that sends him off. If we get into his cockpit, we'll see what he's looking at from his view. And this will do nicely. So he sees Komorowski out wide. Keeping it straight, keeping it good, keeping it good. And there's the contact. No further action on Balmana. There is a general rule that Komorowski in this case would be the rejoining car. We're not going to penalize him because obviously he ends up off, but at some point there's just always going to be this accident here. The issue is everything that leads up to this being a thing. like if Edmonds is not running very, very slowly, Komorowski doesn't end up with this like offline here, and he doesn't end up getting contacted. So it's Martin being a bad boy. I don't know, Martin. Please. We are dying to know what the, because I think here we are. He goes from battling with Komorowski, Kratachville, who is that orange car up there, losing a spot to Frings, I think that is. And then, Komorowski, and the juke there puts him offline, and it's just, the track's not designed to allow for that kind of chaos. So, reprimand for Martin, and we move on to the final incident. Okay, we have our final report here. It's Komorowski and Edmonds again. This time, Komorowski is accusing Martin of inappropriate defensive driving, and the stewards agree. It is a Tier 2 penalty for Martin. What has happened here is if we go way back here, way back here. I'm assuming this is a lap car, Mauricio Delgado up ahead. I need to get out of free cam, don't I? There we go. Oh, this is a battle for position. Okay. It's just a weird one, I guess, because Delgado's on the same lap, but he's clearly very, very slow. Anyways, you can see, boom. There's like even multiple contacts there as they're battling for position. Anyways, so this has slowed down Martin notably. Komorowski coming up behind him. He's like, opportunistic move here. Let's go. Looks down the inside. And Martin just kind of drives him off the track there. There's not enough room there. You're required. So the only question becomes, is there sufficient overlap at the point of commit, which is this braking zone here. So if we... Sorry, I just had to redo all my controls. Oops. This is not what I wanted. There we go. This is more or less the point. And the answer is pretty firmly yes. You can see that there is significant overlap between the two cars. Over the wheel well. That is significant room for Martin. Has to leave room. I know he's trying to get past Mauricio Delgado. He's trying to clear a slower car that is ahead of him for position. And it's a big deal. And I totally get what's going on here. But you gotta leave room. Like there needs to be room. We're coming off of a straightaway here. There is no excuse not to see this bright pink car coming up the inside. And it causes the accident. Now, the steward has mentioned they're probably not entirely happy with Adam here. Maybe a little bit of an over-aggressive move. But there's nothing in the rules that states that this is not an on move. The overlap is there. And by the looks of it, he's bled off enough speed to make it through. So maybe a tad over-aggressive move by Adam, but Martin is chopping down on a car that has the legal right to be there, has the right to try to make that inside move, and has sufficient overlap. So it is a Tier 2 penalty for forcing another car off the track, and Mauricio unfortunately getting caught up in the carnage. So that is all. Happy to be back on the stewarding duty here for the Porsches. I actually really like these cars, and I look forward to the next one.